Hello everyone, I am Adrián Vega and I am here again to show you everything about Stop It. This is a very easy and very fun trick to perform because as you're gonna see in a moment, the spectator, they're gonna do everything for you. They're gonna do the effect, but they're gonna do the method for you. So you don't have to do absolutely nothing. You will have to pay attention in a couple of moments that you're gonna see right now, but it's very easy because they do everything for you and very fun to perform. And also very powerful and strong as you already saw in the trailer, because I think for that reason you are here right now. And before to explain you everything and to show you what is exactly this deck, I would like to share with you a couple of thoughts about this. Because years ago, around 8-9 years ago, I already published a trick called Scandal. This was a version of card at any number that I already released with Murphy's Magic that used a kind of similar method that you're gonna see in a moment, but this was a really bestseller that fooled a lot of magicians. But also this method, this old method, the card at any number, you had to count in some moment you have to do a couple tricky moves that they were so easy, but this version is not a card at any number, but use kind of the same method but totally different way, making this even easier and I think even more practical for the day-to-day magician, right? Also, this method, after I published Scandal, we realized that also Hondo, the great magician Hondo, also had this idea before, and he already, we did credit to him obviously, in a different way. And also Christian Grace, after years of publishing a Scandal, Vanishing and Christian contact me to allow them to share the idea in one of his products that is also amazing. This Miracle One, so you can check this out as well. But this again used this method in a very, I think, very clever way. So let's see what is inside of Stop It and what is exactly this kind of deck. Okay, so let's see now how Stop It works. How the method, the diabolic method, works in the spectator hands. As you already know, you can have the blue version or the red version, so it doesn't matter, they are exactly the same. So the only thing that we have to do is just, we're gonna mark a few cards in the deck. So if you have the red version, so make sure that you use a red marker, and if you use a blue one, you can use either a black marker, also is always better if you use, of course, a blue marker. But anyway, I'm gonna show you exactly what is inside of this deck. So inside you're gonna find, of course, the tutorial, and we advise you that don't shuffle the deck, don't open, don't play before to watch the tutorial, because I want to make sure that you understand exactly the method and how this deck works. So in a moment we're gonna mark the card, so keep this for later, because if we open the deck and we spread the card, making impression or doing a spread strong like this, we're gonna have a blank deck of cards, and this is exactly how the trick ends. So this is how the deck ends at the ending of the trick, obviously. So now we are going to reset this deck, and you are going to understand a little bit how this deck works, okay? So remember, this is how always you are going to finish when you do Stop It, okay? So now we are going to reset at the same time. So take the deck like this, face up, and if you don't are strong and you a little bit, you are also gonna see a few cards like this, so don't worry, because now I'm gonna explain you everything. So first, take the cards like that, face up, and now take the first card like this, normal blank card, and put it on the table. Take the next one, normal blank cards, and put it again on top of the card, okay? So take the third one and do the same. We are going to deal the cards one by one, making sure that, of course, this is the fourth card, but now you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel a pair of cards like that with rough and smooth, okay? So make sure that when you feel that, make sure that you unspread the card like this, or you spread the card and put one card and the next card again on top. Now you're gonna see a normal card, so put again, and now you're gonna feel again a double card, okay? So spread the cards and keep dealing like this one by one. So again here, make sure that you don't pass two cards by mistake because they are maybe two sticks, so make sure that this is normal and the next one is two. So at the beginning, make sure that you really unstick the cards and deal cards one by one. So one more time, you're gonna see already 7 cards like this. So better say this is the 7th card, okay? Now you're gonna fill a few normal cards, so make sure that you deal one by one because they are normal blank cards, and again you're gonna fill a new pair of cards with a totally different card that we are going to force, okay? So again, this is the same setup, normal card, now paired, so make sure again that you are dealing one by one, making sure that you really take out, you can see, and you can hear it, that all the cards like this are dealing one by one. And now this is how the deck starts the trick. So the only thing that you have to do is deal the card one by one and you will be always ready to do. So this is exactly the cards, the deck that you need when you are going to stop it, okay? But before to show you the presentation, before to show you the routine, we have to mark a little bit, just a few cards as you are going to see right now. So take the cards face down, now face down, and we are going to deal cards like this, okay? Now we don't want to deal cards like this, we don't want to revert the order right now, we want to keep the order, so for that reason we deal like this, because if we put again, this is the same setup, so we don't change any card, okay? So we're gonna start dealing one by one, like this, and we are going to mark the first normal card like that. This is already marked, but the only thing that you have to do is take the pen, so the same color, and put only a small dot here in the center of the card, okay? So here we have a small circle, you have a small dot, blow a little bit, and you have the first card ready to go. So keep dealing, now there are 2 blank cards, and the next one will be a normal card. So again, we put another small dot here. So again, 2 more, and you are going to mark the third card like this, 2 more, and we are going to mark the same card, right? So we are going to keep dealing like this and always marking the card that we have, the normal card, okay? Not the blank, only the cards with color, with picture, whatever, right? So now we're gonna have the last one like this, so boom, last mark, and now keep dealing because we have a few blank, and as soon as we see the other card, we're gonna do the same mark. We don't have to do a different mark, doesn't matter, we have to do the same mark like this, okay? So keep dealing, and now again another dot, keep dealing and making sure that you only mark the cards, not the blank. This is the next one, so boom, 2 more, like that, a small dot, another one, and this is only 2 minutes, and when everything is marked like this, you are ready, always ready to perform, okay? So keep this in a moment because we have to mark the last card right now. So we are going to spread, and we can see that we have a few cards. In my case, they are the Queen of Clubs and the 5 of Hearts. They're gonna be the cards that we are going to force. So we're gonna spread like this, and we can count that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards with this duplicate, and another 7 cards with the other duplicate, okay? So now we are going to count, and we are going to do the last mark right now. So we're gonna spread, and we make sure that this is the first. I'm gonna count only the normal card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now, yes. And now we're gonna spread. Let me do it here because for me it's easier. If you don't remember this, you can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blank. Now look for the other setup like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we can see that we have also 5 blank cards like this. So if we cut in that position, now if you realize, so like this you can memorize better, so we can see that here we have 2 packets with the same setup, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white cards, one different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blank, and the first one is different. And at the end, we have the same. We have the last card is blank, and the next one is normal. So we have exactly the same setup. So with this in mind, you only have to take the last card like this, the last card like this. You are going to do now a cream like this. No? It's in Spain we say, in Spanish, burbuja. It's called bubble, but I don't know if in English it's called bubble, but you have the Divernon cream, right? You have to press like this with the finger. So if someone doesn't know exactly how it works, you have to put the card like I do, put your thumb like this, your two fingers like that, and now making pressure, we are going to go to the corner, to this corner, to another corner, now to this corner, to another corner like this. And also, to make sure that we are going to do the trick perfectly every single time, we're gonna mark this card in a different way. So if we already mark this card here, now, for example, you can choose the mark that you want, but in my case, I like to paint a little bit the hair of this small angel, right? We have 4 angels here, so if you paint a little bit this hair and this hair, you already have this mark that is almost invisible, but you already know what is exactly the mark, okay? So if you want to use this, it's perfectly. So remember, in this card, we do this, we mark, and we put in the same position, like this, and now everything together. So now we have the deck ready, but if we cut more or less in the middle, now we are going to cut exactly for the card, the special card that we already marked, and we did this with the finger. So now if we cut like this, we will have 2 perfectly set up cards in the same order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the first one like that, okay? So this is the only thing that we have to do. This is in the middle, now this is on top, and now this deck is always ready to go. So this deck is the only thing that you have to do. Now you have everything in your hands. Now I'm gonna explain you exactly how the tricks works, and it's so easy. You're gonna see in a moment. They're gonna do everything for you, and you only have to deal the cards as you already did, and always you will be ready to perform. 30-second reset, and everything ready inside to the card box like this. So let's see now exactly how the routine works. Welcome now to the explanation of the whole routine, the basic routine that you already saw on the trailer. So this is the routine that I use a lot because, as you see, you want to see now, it's very easy. You already know that it's very easy also to reset. So in dealing the card, even if you shuffle, you're going to see now, you shuffle really quick. You're already always ready to perform the trick, and I used my business card to do the prediction. So like this is a good idea to give your business card away, and also because at the end, because you cannot give the whole deck to examine, you're gonna see in a moment that you can play with that, and you can have that emotion, that sensation of the spectator, but you cannot give the deck away. You don't need it, and you're gonna see in a moment, but also at the end you have something in his hand. So they have your business card, so they have things in your hand, so they don't have the hands super free to take the things that they cannot take. So you're gonna understand everything in a moment, but this is the reason that I use a lot this routine. So the only thing that you have to do is a business card, a Sharpie, and the Stop It deck of cards ready to go. As you already see, all the cards, they are ready. In the middle you have the cream like that, and everything is like that. So the only thing that you have to do is just write the prediction on the business card. So in my case, if you remember, was the 5 of hearts and the Queen of clubs. So I'm gonna write in one of the cards like this, the 5 of hearts, and the other card, the Queen of clubs, okay? You can have this already written in your business card or write in front of your audience. So whatever you want is up to you. The only thing that you have to memorize is what card is on top. So in my case, the first card is 5 of hearts, okay? And the card that they are in the bottom part is the Queen of clubs, okay? So for that reason, I'm gonna take the card, I'm gonna give the prediction to one spectator and another prediction to another spectator, okay? In this position. Of course, if you want, you can put the card and do an open prediction showing the card like this, but in my case, I like to give it like this, okay? So 5 of hearts is here and Queen of clubs is here. So now I take out the cards from the card box, or even the spectator can do for you. So you have to take care that nothing is inside. So you can say take all the cards from the box like this, and first I will ask you to cut more or less in the middle. So now is the first trick that the spectator is gonna do for you. If you really say cut whatever you want, they can cut here, they can cut in the bottom, so they are not going to cut in the point that you need. But if you say cut more or less in the middle, they're gonna try to estimate more or less in the middle like this, and because you have this super card like that, so make sure that this card is really a good cream. So after a few performance, again you have to do it again just to make sure that this card always gonna work, okay? So trust me, I did this a lot of years, and if you say cut more or less in the middle, they're gonna cut exactly here. Also, you have the mark. So if you when he cut, you don't see the mark, you already know that this is not the good point. So don't worry, you feel free to play with that. As you know, everything in Magic is attitude. So say cut more or less in the middle, and they do like that. Say no, please, more or less in the middle, more or less like that, okay? Doesn't matter, because one is gonna be for you and another for you. So if you do this in a very natural way, and you don't put a lot of attention in this moment, you also can do it again. By yourself, because this moment is not a very important moment. It's just cutting the deck and doesn't matter, because your attitude and the trick start in a few seconds, right? But not right now. So always also it's better if they cut for you, but if they don't cut for you in that moment, so don't worry, and you can redo it for him. Say, no, more or less in the middle. Here is okay, okay, so this is for you and this is for you, no? So whatever. So, but again, if you try, and if you are not a magician and you want to try like that, you are always gonna cut here. It's almost impossible to cut in another way if you want to cut more or less in the middle, okay? So say cut more or less in the middle, so this is gonna be for you and this is gonna be for you. Because like this, we have the 5 of hearts here, okay? And the Queen of clubs here, okay? So now is when the most important part of the trick starts. You're gonna have to give the instructions perfectly to do the same deal at the same time. Because as you know, you don't touch the deck, they do everything for you, but you have to make sure that they do exactly what they have to do, okay? So for that reason, be clear, take your time, don't worry, and say, take this card for you, take these cards for you, and now you are going to deal cards one by one. For example, and now I say, so if you put one card here, you have to do the same, okay? So the spectator is going to do the same. So if you put another card, you have to do exactly the same. So you have to do this synchronizing. I don't know that word in English, but you say synchronizing. So if you do one, you have to do next one, okay? So if you do one more time, you have to do one more time. And now you have to deal cards like this. And in the moment that some of you, they want to stop, you have to stop as well. So very slowly, take one card, take another, and if you want to stop, feel free to stop, and you have to stop as well. So they're gonna deal cards, and they're gonna stop whenever they want. They have to stop at the same time. So this is also, could be a handicap of the trick, but if you play as a joke, as playing with them, like, oh, you stop first, he lie you because he pretends to stop, but he keep dealing, so you deal as well. So if you play with that presentation, the handicap of the trick change to a very fun presentation for the trick. So understand that and play with that, because it's very important, because the method, but also it's very important for the presentation, okay? So keep dealing, and whenever they want, they're gonna stop. Here we have 3 different moments, 3 different options. The first option, and for that reason we already marked the cards, is that they stop in one card, that the card with the mark is on the hands, like this case, okay? So if they say like that, so you stop, just perfectly. So stop at the same time. So look at the card of your hands. So they're gonna look for this card, okay? And they're gonna remember the card, and is everything okay? The second option, they can stop in this position, okay? I mean, doesn't matter here, a few more, a few less, because we have 2 normal, 1 duplicate. 2 normal, 1 duplicate, okay? So they can stop in this position. So if you, when they are dealing, if you watch the mark, if you see the mark here, you say, okay, it was free, did you stop whenever they want, okay? So take this card and show to the audience and remember the card, okay? and you're gonna show, and they're gonna show and look for this card, okay? And the last option that maybe now you think, oh, this is a bad option, this is also a great option as well, because they also can stop here. If they stop here, if you play with this, now you can see that there is no mark anywhere. So we don't have a duplicate here, we don't have a duplicate here, and the same here. So, oh, this could be a bad option, but not. Because as I told you already, the handicap of doing things at the same time changed to a very fun and very emotional moment during the presentation. So if they stop here, I say, oh, who stopped? You or you? Oh, you stop. But wait, you will have the final decision right now. One more or one less. So when you say that for us maybe could be he wants to, no. In the spectator hands, in the spectator eyes, they're gonna feel this first like an emotional controversy. I don't know exactly how to explain in English, but oh, you stop, but wait, because you will have the final decision. So you have a man and a woman, you can play with something like that, but also when you ask for the last decision, like one more or one less, this is even more free. This is even more how they're gonna remember is even more powerful, because we have a lot of decision. They stop here, but you say one more, one less, everything can change. So this moment is also very powerful. So now, if you are here and if you say one more or one less, doesn't matter, because if they say one more, perfect. Now we have one mark card on play, and if they say one less, great. Again, one less. Now we have another mark card like this also on play. Okay, so in any of the situation, doesn't matter where they stop, they always gonna stop in one good moment for you. So remember, if you see the mark, show the card where is the mark, and if you don't see the mark like this, just play with that. Like oh, you have the decision, but you will have the final decision. Just one more or one less, whatever you want, it's up to you. So whatever they do, and say, okay, perfect, great. So now we choose exactly this card. So remember the card, okay? So doesn't matter where they stop, remember the card. And now I say, and put the card in the pocket like this, and keep dealing, because like this, we're gonna lose the cards in the deck, and now we can have two selected cards locked in the deck. So in this position, they already did everything for you. They did the method right now in front of your eyes, but at the same time, because they reversed the cards. And now you're gonna see. So now you say a square, whatever you want. So put this on top, whatever they want, and a square for me. So now they already reversed all the deck. So 26 cards here is not 26 because we have 50 cards, as you maybe notice, and it's for a reason. So we have 25 here, 25 here, so it was very fast. And when they put together, they already reversed the card like this. And now the rough and smooth works perfectly right here, because they reverse the order of this card like this. If you don't understand exactly how it works, now I want to explain you everything, but this is the routine, okay? So they square, they do everything for you, and now you play with that. You say, oh, your card was red, black, whatever you want, and say, it's impossible. But it's even more impossible if I show you that here I wrote the 5 of hearts and the Queen of clubs. It's impossible. But this is not the impossible thing. The impossible thing is how you imagine taking the Queen of clubs, how you imagine taking the 5 of hearts in one card, in one deck that was absolutely blank at all. So you finish here, and this is super powerful to perform and super easy because they do everything. And now we have a few moments here that we're gonna explain right now. First, as you maybe notice, now we will have 4 cards like this, 4 normal cards here on the bottom, and a few normal cards, I think they are 5 already in the center of the cards in the deck. So first, when you do this, of course, now you cannot give the deck away, like I examine. Don't worry for different reasons. First, because they already had the deck in their hands. So this is not a special deck that I only play and I do like, no. This is a deck that they cut for me, they deal cards for me, so the deck was already in their hands for the whole trick. So they don't need to examine the cards because the cards was in their hands. So this is not a special deck that they have to check, this is a deck that they were already in his hands. So for that reason, it's not needed, no? They don't need to check the card because was 2 seconds ago was in his hand, so they already examine the deck without examining the things. This is a problem that sometimes we have as a magician, like we try to give everything to examine because it's like a challenge, like, oh, examine this, but wait, now I can do this and I am a magician. I think my point of view is not exactly the same, and in my case, I try to work with ideas, no, with more subtle, with things like that, because I can take a very tricky deck of cards like this, but they already did everything for you. So the deck was in his hand, and without any reason, you finish with a normal deck of cards because the card was in his hand. If the deck was tricky, as a magician, you will never give the card like this. So they feel that. They feel that the deck, without saying a word, only his mind, they feel that they were dealing and everything was working normal, so they don't have they don't need to examine the deck. But also, as a combiner, we have a few cards here, like I say, oh, but scratch, they are really blank, right? They were in your hands. So now we have a few cards here that we can offer. Also, if we spread, here we are using now a rough and smooth, so make sure that you don't go super smooth like this because you can flash the card. So be strong, so strong like that, and at the middle more or less also you can feel that you have a few cards here because you can see the thicker of the card. You can offer to the spectator to take and to say, but scratch is real, right, blank, or whatever, and at the same time they have this in their hands. So for that reason, they can keep this because it's the important thing, it's my business card, it's the prediction, it's the only thing with colors, with number. So this is in a second plan of view, so the important thing is here. But again, we have a few combiner card here in the middle, so we can show very openly that this is a blank deck of cards. So this is the basic presentation and the routine that I use a lot, and now I'm gonna share a couple tips and a couple ideas when you are using this. Okay, so this is how we end Stop It. Now let me reset one more time with you and sharing a couple tips and a couple thoughts when you are using this. So first we're gonna deal the cards like this one by one, again making sure that we really unstick the card with rough and smooth. Okay, so one by one, making sure that don't deal two cards together, so one by one like this, and when you finish to deal the whole deck, you will have the deck again ready to perform. Here maybe you will have two options, so when they cut like this and they put together, maybe they put in the same order. So if this was the top, the half top of the deck like that, and they put in the same order, now you will feel that we have the cream again in the middle, in the perfect position. But when they cut like this, they do the trick and they cover, when you say square the cards and they cover like this, you will find that the special card will be here on the bottom. So when you do the deal card, you will finish with this card here on top. Don't worry, because the only thing that you have to do is cut again. So look for the first duplicate card. So we have the 5 that in my case they are on top. So look for the first duplicate, in my case is the queen. Put one more blank card like that, and now cut like this. So now you will put this special card in the middle in the perfect position that we need for the trick. So if they cut here, we will have the first setup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks, and here we'll have the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the first duplicate. Okay, so here we have the deck again ready to perform. So this is the trick. So I'm going to explain you if you already know how it works, but if it doesn't matter, in some moment maybe you take the cards and you throw away and you lost the setup. So don't worry, because if you understand exactly how it works, it's going to be very easy to reset as well. You don't need it, because if you do perfectly, they deal the card, they square, they do things, you again deal the card one by one and also always will be ready to perform. But the idea, as maybe you notice, is when we start the trick, rough and smooth is nothing. because here they have rough and smooth on the face, and we have some blank cards that they have rough and smooth on the back. But here in this setup, that this is the same idea that I used with a Scandal a lot of years ago, was like if we put one blank card, normal blank card, in the middle of this setup, now the rough and smooth doesn't work because we have one card here that is protecting this, so this nothing is sticky. But only when we revert the order, no, in this case we need one more like this. If we revert the order, now this card gonna touch the other card with rough and smooth, and they're gonna start and they're gonna work like this. This is the basic idea of this. This is the concept of this. So if we have a few cards like that with rough and smooth, one in the middle, nothing happened. But when we revert, for that reason they are three, they're gonna stick and they're gonna work. Okay. This is with the whole deck. So this is the first thing that you have to know, that all the cards they have rough and smooth here, and a few cards they have rough and smooth on the back. So if you are familiar with this kind of card, if you lose the card, you throw away and you lose exactly the thing, you have to first separate all the cards like this, the normal cards, and making sure that you have also the rough and smooth. But if you take a few cards, blank cards, now if you touch a little bit here, you can feel that if they are normal, they are super soft, very perfect. And if you touch one card that is with rough and smooth, you will feel a little bit more rough, no? You will, it's not as, look at even the sound a little bit, you will notice a little bit. So if you are familiar with this, it's very easy. If not, it's a little bit more difficult. So for that reason, when the spectator, they are dealing the card, and maybe as a magician, you can think that they're gonna feel that one card is a little bit different than the other. Forget about this. It's impossible for them to notice. Even as a magician, sometimes it's very difficult for them. So for that reason, I am explaining now that everything is in order, make sure that you can feel a little bit the difference, just in case you throw away the deck and you don't know exactly how to preset, okay? So first, you have to recognize what card they have the sprite, the rough and smooth, what card they don't have, and now, with that in mind, you can reset this again as well, okay? So this is the thing, and this is, I think, the clever idea. For that reason, they have the deck in his hand. For that reason, they can deal. So at the end, if you spread, this is more than enough to show that everything is normal. I already told you. So another tip that I'm gonna share is, at the beginning, you can see that here, when they are start dealing, we don't have the setup. We have like a 5 cards and then the first duplicate. So at the beginning, I was using also a duplicate here because I can do it. If you put a rough and smooth here, and you can have one extra duplicate. But the problem is when you are going, not the problem, but the thing is when you are finished the trick and you spread, now you will have one normal, one double, one normal, one double, one normal, one double. So you will not have the cards at the end, that now they are on top, but they do the trick for you. So let me revert real quick. So at the end, also if you want to revert, you can shuffle one by one, making sure that they are one by one, and now you can use also this to preset and to practice, because like this, everything is the end. So for that reason, we put a few cards there, because at the end now you have this combiner extra. If you put an extra duplicate, this will be a stick, so now you have one normal, one double, one normal, one double, and you will not have these few cards here to show the idea, okay? So for that reason, I prefer to have this combiner here, because when I spread, I like to take the card, do it like that, and for me it's a little easier, and because you don't need it, because if you have this, let me reset one more time, so like this, you can make sure that you can also have it, and you can do it super quick. You don't need that extra duplicate. Why? Because when you cut, they have the cut here in the perfect card, you will have 4 or 5 cards that you don't have duplicate, right? But don't worry, because the first card that they are going to deal is very important to make sure that you are doing the instruction really well. So for that reason, I don't say deal card and whatever you want, stop. No, I say you, for example, you have to be synchronized. So if you deal one card, you have to do another card, right? So if you have to deal another one, and I say, do it, perfect, you have to do another one, great. So in this moment, I am showing the idea of the process, the idea of the method. So now I don't say stop whenever they want, because if they stop here, now I have two more to deal. So when I have this position, I say, if you, for example, if you do another one, you have to do another one. So you have to do this at perfect time and timing every single time at the same time. So meantime, you are explaining this, that is very important because they have to do at the same time. You already deal a few cards that, of course, they are not going to stop because you didn't say that. So until we have the 4 card already here, or the 3 or the 4 card, you say one by one, and whenever you want, you are going to stop. So with that script in your mind, they already deal a few cards, few good cards, because at the end we're gonna have the combinser, and now we don't need the extra duplicate there, right? So they have to deal. The only thing, just make sure that they do more or less square, so they don't mess with the cards. When they finish, they're gonna square for you. Make sure that they don't square like that because they're gonna flash. So square on the table. If you want to square, you can do it like that. And at the end, you can reveal the card whenever you want and spread and show that everything is there, right? That was Stop It, so I really hope that you like it and I wish you the best performing this. As you know, it's very easy, they're gonna do everything for you, they're gonna deal the cards, they're gonna cut, so the only thing that you have to do is have fun and pay attention on the marks. Because like this you are going to control exactly the method and you are going to play with that. So it's very fun when you are performing and you see the spectator dealing cards and looking to the eyes to stop first or not. And also when you need to say one more or one less, you will have the final decision. So again, this is a very fun moment and very also powerful moment. So have fun with that. And remember, when they finish, they do everything for you. You have to spread and that's it. And at the end, you only have to deal to revert the card, or if you do faster, you can shuffle one by one and you are going to reset right away. So the only thing that you have to keep in mind is just from time to time, take the card, the special card that we mark here, and do this again. Because like this, just from time to time, we're gonna be easier for your spectator to cut the deck in the point that you need. But again, if they don't cut in the point, don't worry, because you say, no, maybe you cut too small and we need a few cards for you and a few cards for you. So more or less the same, and you do everything for them. So the only thing that you have to do is pay attention, and if they don't cut in the perfect moment, in the perfect point, don't worry, because in this moment, nothing starts. So there is nothing to worry about. So just say, cut in the middle, say, oh, maybe a little more, because like this, you will have this, and this is for you, so more or less, don't worry, and now start with the trick, okay? This is the only thing that you have to keep in mind. So also, I invite you to keep the box, to keep this clear box, so you can protect the card a little bit better, and I really hope that you had fun with this. Again, trust me, I did a lot of times, and always I had super fun to do it. Go away, try on this, perform to your family, for your audience, to professional shows, whatever you want, and you're gonna see how powerful it is and how easy it is to perform. So again, thank you so much for trusting in Stop It. My name is Adrián Vega, and see you very soon.